and apply for scholarships, apply for lots of scholarships. Even if it's $500, that adds up. You get quite a few of those, and it all adds up. So those are some of there's many ways. And I have a whole episode on my podcast where I talk about that, and I talk about some of it in my book. But the main thing is changing your mindset. With us and our kids, it was, okay, you are not allowed to take out student loans. So just the easy route of going into student loans is not an option. So since that's not an option, now we look for different ways that most people probably wouldn't. My daughter is starting at a school where it's a collaboration with Vincennes University, so she's going to high school and college at the same time. So when she graduates high school, she'll also have an associate's degree from Vincennes University.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's another, and that's it was a lot cheaper than paying for the 2 years of college. And so you just have to change your mindset. That's the biggest thing I can say about that. Change your mindset, draw a line in the sand saying, okay, student loan debt's not an option. And then get creative and look for ways. When you're seeking things out, you will notice them. But if you think that student loan debt is an option, you're not going to notice all of the other opportunities that are out there. That might be a little bit more work, but you know how many people I work with who can't even afford to pay their student loans. I mean, we have truly a student loan crisis in this country, and so do a little bit of work on the front end, and it is so. I promise you, it will be so much better in the long run after you graduate.
Very nice. So, final thing that I wanted to talk about is what we have coming up.
Yes.
I am so excited to have professionals in different fields come on and share their journeys and share their visions. But what we are collaborating on, you and I, is you being able to come on a monthly basis and just do a very short segment on money matters and what do we call it?
Making money behave.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Making our money behave.
Yes. Money behave.
Yes.
What do we have to look forward to? I think we're going to start that in October. Because you'll be out of the state next month for FinCon.
Yep.
So we'll start in October. What do we have to look forward to?
I'm going to talk about just different financial topics. I mean, we talked about just a few minutes ago that personal finance doesn't have to be difficult. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to spend, 5-7 minutes, whatever, breaking some of these topics down to its most simplest form and trying to help people that way. So each month I'm going to talk about a different topic. We'll talk about budgeting. We'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about ways to save money on groceries. There's all kinds of things that we'll talk about. And we would love to hear your feedback too. If there are questions that you have or topics that you would like me to cover, please let us know, because this is for you. This is for the listeners, and we're here to help you. So if there's something you want to hear about, let us know.
And how can you be reached?
I can be reached at, my email address is Jen, Jen, at JenJacksonFC, as in financialcoach.com. So you can email me that way. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about possibly having these up on YouTube, so you can comment under there as well. I'm on Facebook. If you go to my website, on the front page of my website, there's a little portal. I don't know what you call it, but Facebook. You can get to Facebook directly from my website, and so you can click on there as well. You can message me questions, and we're here to help you. So we want to know what your financial questions are, what things are you need help with, and we'll just break it down and make it super simple.
And eventually what we'll do is at some point do a Facebook Live.
Yes.
So you can actually text or email text the questions. I don't know if that's what you call on Facebook, but give us the questions live on finances. And Jen's going to do her best to answer as many questions as
possible. Yeah.
Cool.
My passion, like you said at the beginning, my passion is to help people win with money to reach their financial goals and dreams. And I love it. I love teaching. I love speaking. I love doing writing. I love doing all those things. And so this is another format for people to get help, and for me to reach more people, to help more people. This is our future. This is people's finances. Even if, like, I'm in a good spot financially, other people being in a bad spot financially affects our country, and it affects how things it still affects me, and it affects my kids and everybody else's future generations, and so I want to help people.
How did this happen? What were you always a money the numbers kid when you were younger?
Yeah, when did that turn on? I've always been a math person. I've always loved math. I loved counting money. Monopoly was my favorite game. It still is my favorite game. My husband doesn't like playing with Monopoly with me. He says I cheat, but I don't cheat. I just don't play the way he likes me to play. I don't like selling off my properties. I like collecting rent. But so I always have been good at math and loved money, but I never thought I would pursue that area. I wanted to go into theater and be a singer and kind of go that way, and so that's kind of what I pursued. And
those are two different areas.
Two very different areas. I wanted to be. I always knew since I was really little that I wanted to be on stage helping people. I just didn't. I thought that would be acting and singing. And so many years later, I'm 37. Here, it's things have changed, and I kind of ended up after the singing and theater thing didn't work out. I said, well, all right, well, let's do what I know. And so I got a job working at a hospital in financial counseling, and that just kind of, I guess, relit the fire. And then my career just kind of went from there in different ways, and then started my own business. But now, like I said, I wanted to be on stage and in front of the camera, whatever, helping people. Well, that is now.
It is now.
I get on stage and I do speaking events. I teach classes. I'm on the radio. I have a podcast. It's not singing and acting. It's helping people with their finances. And so that gut, that desire that I knew I'm supposed to do this, it just looks a little bit different now.
Right.
But I'm still doing it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to share this one thing with you, and then I'm going to give you the final thoughts. So recently, I talked to Jen. I talked to you about getting my podcast set up. And I'm not I don't want to badmouth any store, but I didn't want the finances coming from my personal finances when I'm paying for this podcast or anything related to it. And was going to use a gift card, if that's what you want to call it. And I called you, and you're like, no, you don't want to get that because they have all of these hidden things that you have to adhere to. And you suggested opening up another account. And I just shared this with you today. That is exactly what I did.
Oh, good.
A secondary account through my financial institution.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
I listen.
Yay! Yay!
I'm listening to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and just to kind of to dive a little bit deeper on that, if you're starting out and if you're starting a business, whatever it may be, one, for tax reasons, talk to a CPA, but 99% of the time they're going to tell you need to have a separate account, because you don't want to intermix your personal stuff with your business stuff. And aside from, what the IRS wants you to do, just from an organization standpoint, it is so much easier to just have it all separate and have a separate bank account and say, look, all my expenses were in this account for the business. That way you're not going back through your bank account going, when I ran my debit card, was that a personal thing or was that a business thing? Keep your receipts, but it makes it so much cleaner and easier to organize. And then as you're trying to grow your business, okay, what was my profit? What did I spend on this? It makes it easier for doing budgeting. So I highly recommend having several bank accounts.
I struggled with that because it's not a legitimate business yet. It's just me saying, okay, I'm going to start this podcast and I have to pay for this and but even separating something as small, because you never know where I am a spiritual person.
Me too.
And you never know where God is going to elevate it.
Yes.
So start off right from the very beginning on the right note, and then you won't have to go over here and backtrack.
Yeah.
And get it right.
And that's that's one thing too, is with anything you're doing, start small, learn from that. So many times we want to, run from point A to point B, but there are things that we have to learn
There
along
you
the
go.
way.
That's
I talk
good.
about that in my Watch Me Journey to Succeed book as well. But it's the same thing, okay? Is your business huge yet? No. But learn the habits. Get used to doing it the right way and to develop good habits. So then as your business grows, it's not like you're going to have these bad habits or, you're doing it a different way. And then all of a sudden when things are bigger and crazier, oh, now I have the stress of having to switch everything.
Right.
Just do it from the get-go when it's not as big.
Right.
And then as it grows, that's one less thing you have to worry. There's
that's
plenty
the
of
behavior
stressors in business.
modification.
That is the behavior. It's being proactive. Being proactive is huge as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to give you the final thought.
Okay, so my biggest thought is, the biggest thing I want to say is that don't give up hope. I work with a lot of people who they feel hopeless. They feel like they're drowning in debt and there's no way out. And I want to tell you that there is a way out. Most of the time it's not bankruptcy. Some people, it is necessary, but I deal with a lot of people who, they just need a different perspective. They just need somebody to give them hope. Because when you're in the middle of it, it's really hard to see outside of it. And so don't give up hope. Have faith and find people who are willing to help you, who want to help you, whether, it's with your personal finances, that's something I can do. If it's fitness goals, if it's career goals, whatever it is, find people who can help you and just don't give up hope. That's the biggest thing. You will get through it. This too shall pass. You will get through it.
You are listening to Speak Now with Gena. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's cool.
Yay.